Take a ride into Ron's G80. Again, we talked about how these are actually M2 seats converted to the M3. It's different sitting in a passenger seat. Now I'm a passenger princess.
What's up, baby?
Like I said, he was calling me Viv earlier. I don't know.
Oh my god.
So Ron, what exhaust do you have?
I have the Latieri Technology catback system, and honestly, I think we've installed quite a bit of exhaust. The owner of Latieri, Falsto, he's from Italy. He builds for a lot of racing teams, and he's the inventor of tube exhaust for all the Ferrari systems. So this system is one of my favorites.
Is it equal length?
Equal length.
Equal length, okay.
Equal length, and yeah, I like the equal length more than the single mid pipe.
Yeah, because I think the raspiness and something that I don't like, and I'm sure you don't like either, which is why you went for the equal length, really transforms the sound, and it kind of makes it, I would say, a little bit more special, right?
Yeah.
This car makes it feel special at that point, because before it just sounds like shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's go.
And I was telling Ron earlier, you don't have to be PG on the channel, man. You know, you speak freely.
A, fucking
A.
A.
Fuck it. Fuck it. So, tell me. Actually, no. You guys tell me. Do we look alike? I know a lot of you guys think, you know, because of the hair, the height, and stuff. Do we look alike?
I don't know, man. You guys are all racist.
Yeah, you're all racist. If you guys are laughing right now because of this clip, you guys are racist. Nah, but it's cool. And Ron wants me to drive his car later,
yeah,
but
you better.
I don't want to break his lip.
Dude.
I had some bad luck recently.
You need this intake, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll see. No rubbing. Just,
Yeah, there was no rubbing at all.
yeah. I think next thing is flat bottom suede steering wheel, Rogue Engineering short shifter, and I'll have the camper.
And you were telling me about the Rogue Engineering short shifter.
It's supposed to make it notchier because these are a little soft, but
oh yeah.
you need
oh
that.
yeah.
You need that.
So what do you have right now? I know you were just talking about intakes.
Yeah, so Eventori carbon intake, as well as the Latieri exhaust, and literally that's it. That's like just, it's tits. I love that. I love the system. I love how it sounds. Gives you the blow off you want to hear.
And it is performance to it, because a lot of people, sometimes people go for like the generic intakes in the engine bay just for the sound, but you lose performance because it heat soaks.
Heat soaks, correct.
Right, and
then
you don't have that with the Eventuri.
The thing is, like, I don't like talking down on other companies, but one thing for sure is the front mount intakes, yes, you hear a lot more spooling, but heat soaks, number one. Number two, if you're in like bad weather, rain, hydro lock, which is a huge nightmare. But Eventori did, the guys at Evolve, they did such a phenomenal job with the engineering behind this. It literally mounts exactly like OEM. You get the noises you want to hear, you get the performance, and this combination with a full turbo back exhaust, it's like you're really getting optimal airflow and cold air because everything's enclosed in the carbon boxes.
From the butt dyno,
yeah.
Did you feel a difference?
Butt dyno, I don't know, because
you probably weren't thinking about.
I mean,
that,
now
right?
with the intake and the exhaust, honestly, I was very skeptical about doing Eventori just because I was like, I'm not gonna get the noise I want. Like I said, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
But no, right off the rip, I could hear the spooling. In cold weather, yes, but dyno, I could definitely feel it. But the combination with this exhaust and the intake, I definitely feel a lot more power compared to
you have less
bone stock.
restriction.
Less restriction, better airflow for the turbos. But other than that, like back to quality parts, like Eventori, phenomenal. Latieri, phenomenal. I don't want to name specific brands, but there's a lot of exhaust systems that are out right now that literally come from the same manufacturer, and literally it's just a straight pipe. And problem is, like, they mass produce them, and it really, I don't know, we've done a lot of them. I don't like naming brands, but
no, we all definitely know.
Yeah.
Again, this is why it's good in America, right? You have the opportunity of spending this much to this much, but everything matters of how you build your car, and I think we're both on the same mindset of quality. But going into the front mounts, my biggest fear was always I guess you could say hydrolock, because it rains a lot in Florida. You know, the grill intakes sound good, but this sounds good. Your exhaust sounds really good. You know, I'm not saying it because you're here, but it kind of reminds me of my AWE exhaust. It has like a deep tone, but the smooth equal length kind of makes it legit. And you were talking about these tires, right? So I know a lot of us are Michelin fanboys. Yeah. Right? And I can say I'm a Michelin fanboy, but what's different about these
man,
tires?
Honestly, they grip, they mimic an R compound. But honestly, they're really nice. You know what's crazy? I haven't really tested them yet, so we could test a little bit here.
All right.
I don't know, whatever. Wait, hold up. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad. It grips nicely.
It did not spin.
It didn't.
That was traction control off, right?
Yeah. Didn't spin at all, but they're brand new too, so makes sense. And it has the traditional backfire. I'm not a big fan of like the big burbles, and honestly, that's reverse combustion. It's actually bad for your turbos. You're actually you're basically killing your turbines. And yeah, I just like the subtle backfire, what the car naturally does, but a lot of people with those crazy burble tunes, I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
Think the reason why BMW did that is because of the generation that, you know, we could say Gen Z and all that stuff, right? And I think a lot of you guys are watching this vlog, you guys are part of the Gen Z, and there's nothing wrong with burbles. Everybody has their own opinions about it, but I'm definitely not a fan of it.
Yeah.
That's why I have a valve controller. I'm able to turn off the burbles and be in open wide exhaust.
I still have the factory vacuum lines, and that's why it's so quiet when it's in lower RPMs.
You might need a valve controller, man.
Dude, you know what? On Frozen G80, Amir's car, it's actually hooked up to his garage link, which is nice. So his car is so loud.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, like this opens up like anywhere from 3,000, downshifting from 4,000 below. It does do like a backfire. Like for example, if I'm right here and I downshift, small little backfire. It's not excessive, but BMW does do a really good job with insulation. So this whole time, like when I installed the exhaust, I'm like, dang, this thing is really quiet.
Yeah.
But outside, it's freaking loud.
Yeah, once you get a valve controller and you open it up more, where it's like 100%, you're gonna see the difference.
But one thing I noticed on the F8X and the G8X is the startups on all these cars with valves open is extremely loud.
Yeah, my neighbors and I. Yeah. To be honest, the cold start on these stock G80s and G80s itself is just one of the downsides about owning one. Yeah. The only way for you to get rid of the cold start is to tune it, and again, it just depends if you want to go to that realm.
Yeah, opening up ECU.
Yeah, sending the DME out. Yeah. What? Oh, here. Yeah. Your brakes sound like shit because you have stock brakes. I think that's one of the things that you could probably complain about.
No, he's roasting me right here. Your brakes sound like shit. No, but you know what? You're right. You got to put me on those pads. I think you have Sean's stuff, right?
Correct, yes.
PSI.
I'll talk to Sean.
Sean's awesome, man. I love Sean. I met him at SEMA at Vorsteiner's party, and as well as with the R44 guys. But no, Sean's a great guy. I love how technical he is. And dude, that's amazing that he developed these pads that literally all my wheels have mirror polish lips. And literally seeing, I mean, obviously I ceramic coat everything, but seeing the brake dust on there after like one wash, it does drive me a little crazy.
Yeah, I could drive 500 miles plus and only have a light coating, and it's not going to be enough for me that's pretty OCD to want it to wash it. Like, so the way I can say it is that you're able to coincide, right, with how dirty your exterior is to your wheels. Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times when you wash a car, your wheels are a lot dirty than your exterior, but it kind of matches now.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I mean, dude, I need to get those pads.
And going back into the intake, with the Venturi intake, and just based on a couple pulls that he was doing, it sounds like you have an upgraded turbo. That's what it does. It sounds like.
Yeah, it does.
With the F80, because I have the Venturi on my F80, and it didn't sound like this. I think Venturi did some development where they made the openings to maximize the flow, and you could hear it. And it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, the best is like, I mean, I'll show you on what gears where you can really hear the spooling. But No, man, I really love how this came out. Like, the Inventory, definitely hands down best intake system. Other than this intake system, I also recommend the Dine-In, however you want to say it. I call it Dine-In.
Yeah.
Dine-In is a very similar system, but instead of a full carbon box, it's only the top, and it utilizes the factory bottom pieces, and it goes on top, and it's half the price of Inventory.
And it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does. It does the same thing. But definitely recommend enclosed intake systems if you guys are looking for performance. Yes, the front mount intakes are louder, and it develops more airflow, but like, if you guys are doing simple bolt-ons with the front mount intake, you're gonna actually lose power, because those are made for cars that are actually, you know, downpipes plus an aggressive tune, because you need more boost for that. When you have less boost and you're doing front mount intakes, you're soaking a lot of air, which you're not producing enough PSI for. Like, the turbos aren't, it's not tuned properly. So I know a lot of people do it because it's a cheap alternative, number one. Also, number two, it gives you the noise, but you do lose the power that this car from the factory already has enough of. And it's, you know, I just...
You're doing yourself disjustice at that point,
Yeah, like this noise, like...
Yeah.
Like, it gives you that JDM, like, choo, you know? That probably sounded really weird, but yeah.
But I know with a manual car, right? It's not as fast as the ZF8 speed.
Man, honestly, this is the problem with me. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not a hater. I love the ZF. I had an E92 M3 that was DCT. I really liked how it gave me that F1 feeling, because I've driven... Exactly. Yes. I've done like the E46 M3 SMG. It's really rough, like on low RPMs and going from first to second. But the DCT was just such a smooth transition because it was dual clutch.
Yeah.
But now going to the ZF, it's straight automatic. Like, obviously, once you gas it, you're going forward no matter what. DCT, you kind of were like in neutral, and you're like, you know,
it takes away
clutch.
from that rush, that sports car feel for me, at least.
Yeah, but what I am very impressed is what that transmission can take, which is, you know, exactly, these all-wheel drive G80s or G82s. Literally, I mean, you could easily get 800 horsepower with port injection.
With this transmission, do you think from what the forum says, is this transmission able to hold that much power? I know the clutch can't hold past 6.
I think this transmission, you know what? I don't know. I haven't been in one yet. There's a shop called GTP Tuning, GTP Motorsports. They've built a 800 horsepower manual G82 M4. Yeah. And I've been really wanting to drive it, but I haven't met the owner yet. Yeah. But, I mean, I feel like just the simple clutch upgrade, you could easily be doing 700 horsepower. I think there should be no problem. It's just the clutch, because even with this car, I was racing a F10 M5, and literally just shifting at red line, I could feel the clutch slowly slipping, but like it's just it's soft clutch, I feel like, and it definitely needs to be upgraded for sure.
No, if you're thinking about power, you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
I can see this is like an iPad.
Oh, dude, it is. And you know what's funny? I didn't know about this function. So when you go into M mode, and I put sport, it makes this into one single gauge. Kind of looks like an LFA. Yeah. But I was always wondering, because I know in your model you have like a boost gauge, and you could see like all that stuff.
G-forces and stuff.
I thought this didn't come with it, but finally, after playing with my freaking handy dandy iPad,
could get you into an accident.
You could go here, and it shows you all your ratios and all your content. And it took me almost like 5 months to figure this out. I was like, holy shit, I have this, which is really cool. Like,
this is what happens when you're so busy. You know? Ron is super busy. I know if he doesn't get back to you, it's because he has other things going on.
Well, you know, it's funny because a lot of guys think we are a massive shop with multiple employees, but typically for me, like when I talk to you guys and I sell you a set, I am hands-on building it myself, and it's tedious work. There's literally 40 bolts that we have to torque to spec, sequence torque them, and I QC all the wheels myself as well as my employee. And if I'm not there, they do it for me. But for the most part, I am titty twisting these bolts for you guys to spec. So just know, guys, I care. I love you guys. And literally, I love all the G80s that have been buying our setups. I appreciate the support. I mean, obviously, Ken's car came out amazing.
The vision was there, and then when you told me about the vision, what we could do for these, I guess little weak spec LMRs, I was sold, man. I was so happy, and the way it came out, like, it breaks a lot of necks. Like even the other day, I was driving to Orlando for the giveaway event, and some guy in a truck, pitch black, was like, "Give me a thumbs up." And I was like, "I'm glad you can see my car, but thanks, man." You know?
That's funny. No, that's the thing about good fitment too. It's like it really catches the eye, especially with polished lips.
But it's tough though, because it's not a direct fitment, because a lot of the things you have to do, whether it's camber, SPL arm sometimes, that really is like the science behind it.
I mean, the science behind with yours is we did, like I said, job of the slut freaking lips and those rears. It does, if you go that big, that you do have to get the right the arms, SPL arms, eccentric lockout, just because the toe gets thrown out. Don't get me wrong, you guys can make it work, but it will throw the performance of the performance in driving off because of the toe. But we do have a spec that looks perfectly flush if you don't want to do a huge crazy lip. Where you don't have to change those arms. You can literally just do springs and it's a direct bolt on.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do it right, man. If you're gonna do it right.
Exactly.
Stop being all that weak sauce. You gotta stop that.
I mean, Ken, your setup is insane. Moton with the cups, like, I love it. I mean, honestly, I like your setup the most because you can go low enough up front.
Yeah.
A lot of these cars, even with my height adjustable kit, it's low, but I wish I could go even lower and really tuck in that front end. But man, one thing I really love is every M car from basically E9X, they don't come with camber up front. You can't adjust camber.
Correct.
So you guys definitely, whether you do springs or coilovers, make sure you get camber plates up front, because any performance car on the track or in general, you need at least -3 up front to really feel the car.
Yeah.
And that's
then your fitment's gonna be trash.
Exactly. Yeah. Fitment's gonna be trash. Your wheels are gonna be kind of like it's just gonna look trash, guys. But for the most part, to really enjoy the M suspension, you need like -3 up front and like about close to -2.5 in the back at least. So yeah.
As you can see, Ron knows his stuff. Not only that he knows wheels, he knows his cars, you know. So when you guys are having this vision of, I want to build this really aggressive BBS wheel or things like that, pick his brain, because he has a lot of good suggestions. Even like I said earlier, the engraving of the BBS logo really gave it a really fine touch. And when people actually get close to the wheel, they see it and they're like, damn, that's actually nice.
Well, Ken, I'm excited for you to drive this. I didn't know you didn't have an intake, so
I know.
You pretty much have the same car. So, I mean, besides this is different. I mean, this was really hard to get used to. I know your AC module's right here.
And it's so much better.
Yeah, so now, like, I do. Oh, you know what? One thing this car has failed me on? Sometimes this screen goes black.
Mine too. So
for real?
So my ID7, he has ID8.
Yeah.
My screen will go black and restart.
Yeah, and sometimes the Bluetooth kind of
disconnects.
God, so that's a thing. Okay.
So I think there's I'll talk to my buddy that's a tech, but I know a lot of you guys are dealing with that too. There's an update you need to do.
I see.
So you might have to get an update, but it happens probably on my long drives.
Yeah.
Probably you too.
Yeah. So yeah, man, you're right. Everything's on the screen for the air conditioning, climate control, climate menu.
Fingerprint Central City.
You know what's funny? I didn't think I could turn off my AC the longest time. I was like, dude, we're always, when I first bought the car, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess I'm just gonna be cold all the time. But yeah, just one switch away. Like, you really got to play with the system to really understand what's happening.
There's probably about another 30 minutes of stuff to go through than the ID7.
Exactly.
That's why I feel like.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's funny. It still showcases I have cooling seats.
Yeah, obviously you don't.
Obviously I don't.
Because he's a baller and he has M2 bucket seats.
It's funny because I really was happy that I was able to get these seats. Everything transitioned over, the M3 logos. It was a direct bolt-on. All you really have to do is code things out. But it does show I have cooling seats, even though it's just heated seats now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a flex. Some people are like, what? But I'm like, no, they don't work.
They don't work.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe if you spend enough time with the car, you might be able to do that.
Yeah, I wish I had that time, though. I got to be pushing out these sets for all you guys that are waiting. And, you know, it's... I love what I do, man. And typically for my car, even when I bought the car, first day I had it with literally less than 100 miles, full aero kit and suspension went in right away. It's a must for me. And
of course.
Yeah. No, this is actually, this E88 set is my first custom finish I've done. Most of even my Porsche, and all the setups I've done, I always do the factory BBS colors.
Come on, you're the BBS king, man. You can't be doing that, man.
I know, man. So this E88 set I was really stoked on, and I'm getting used to it having a smaller setup, 19s, but the comfort is amazing.
Yeah, it feels like it absorbs the bumps a little bit better, right? It also is a flex, man.
Yeah,
it's a huge flex.
I can't wait to drive this. After we're about to have lunch, I'm gonna get this guy some meat in his mouth. What? No. What? No. Korean barbecue. We're gonna take him out. We have to. SoCal has one of the best Korean barbecues out here. But I want him to drive this. I want him to see, because he has a manual too. You know, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
And I'm actually excited and intrigued by the Rogue Engineering short shifter. You don't have it, I know.
I was gonna say
it's something that we
Yeah.
are probably. I'm gonna look into because. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel numb when it's so super soft going into gears.
And one thing I don't like is how any extra play I don't like. My Porsche is still like at neutral, doesn't vibrate. This doesn't, but over time this gets a little loose. The bushing, from my understanding. So Rogue Engineer makes a bushing for it to make it like tight, as well as the short shift kit. So that's probably gonna be my next mod. I don't know if I should change the shift knob.
Some people do. And
I know, but I really love OE Plus. Like me being in my mid-30s now, it's like, man, I can't really rice things out.
Yeah, but Ron, we're Asian. We could look like we're in our 20s until we're like 55.
The rice is always gonna be there. But next mod for sure, I do want a flat bottom. Because driving manual, our left foot actually comes up quite a bit.
It does.
So the flat bottom definitely helps, and I know the facelift ones are all flat bottom, but suede, dude. Oh, dude, suede steering wheel is literally my favorite mod. I did that on the 911, and man, it's just like fucking touching Elmo's cock. Like, no, I'm just kidding, man. All right, guys, but listen, suede steering wheel with the line on the front, I love that. I love that look, and you know, it's it's a must in manual, and the buckets for sure. I literally, when I had the comfort seats, I was sitting like this. It was just too easy. It was too easy.
And to be honest, it just takes away from the experience of the car. I know a lot of people that have bought buckets and they regret it, is because you really have to understand, like, there's a con to it. You have to get into the car specific ways to not wear and tear the bolsters, and your spouse may not like it. I know your girl likes it, right? She doesn't mind it. It makes it feel like more of a sports car.
Absolutely. And you know, it holds you in place. Like, I definitely, with the comfort seats, going through turns, a lot more body roll.
Oh, of course.
Now with these, like, I feel more planted. I feel like I could actually canyon the car. So definitely.
And it completes the car, man.
It really does.
I think when you have the rest of the motorsport aspect of it, it's a flex.
Now though, I'm just like a stickler with the seats though. Like, I hate like
I don't wear jeans in my car.
Yeah,
really.
Well, I'm wearing jeans, but I don't look cool at all coming in and out of my car. That's for sure. I crawl into my car and crawl out, and it's kind of funny. But I mean, even with her, I'm like, hey, don't crease the seats. You know, like it drives me nuts.
You kind of have to sit with your legs closed. But I know this video is gonna be a long video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the different, conversations we're having about his car, because in time it gives you a better perspective of what you could get yourself into. And I honestly think manuals are going to be, they are a dying breed, but 10 years from now they're going to be worth a lot more than the ZF8 speeds.
Absolutely.
But I just like the engagement more, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to drive a manual?
I feel like, well, besides me having ADHD and I need to be touching something all the time, I guess, but I feel like I'm more one with the car. It's more analog. Also, I feel like handling wise, with the ZF transmission, like, there's like a split second of lag that I feel like you can't really control. But with manual, you know you're going into gear. You know when the clutch is engaging. You know exactly when it's going to hit.
And it's fun. Yeah. I know the main thing that everybody says, it's fun. It's engaging, right? But if you have never experienced the manual car, you would not really understand. It just seems more tedious, especially when you live in LA. But even in LA traffic, it's not that bad as long as you're really into it. I'm all about a manual car.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, technology right now, like, most cars are really just an auto, and my 911 to this car, like, I feel like just complete control, number one. The driving experience is really fun. I mean, I could literally whip this car out sideways easily, just clutch kicking, no problem. Automatic, it's kind of uncontrollable. Like you're literally flooring the car, and the car is like just, I don't know. It's a different experience, but I've always been a manual car driver. I grew up from JDM cars, and
so you were saying you're a racer.
I was a racer, dude.
Yeah.
I was
a racer at heart, racer, diet, everything. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like everybody's like, "Why do you love carbon so much?" Like my buddy Rob at the shop.
Yeah.
He's like, "Your Porsche has the Cup Motorsport stuff. Why'd you put a full carbon kit?" And I was like, "I just have to."
It just looks good. I don't know. I agree. I think his Porsche looks great, amazing. You know, maybe one day down the road, a Porsche.
I feel like I should swap cars after you drive this and let you drive the 911.
No.
Dude, you got to, man.
That'd be too much.
It's fine.
That'd be too much.
I don't care. It's a car.
See, Ron treats you like family, right? Regardless if you're a customer of his or just a potential customer. And one thing I liked about, you know, what I've heard from other people is that he doesn't really seem like a salesman, right? He makes it seem like you're his friend, right? And he's able to step you throughout the process.
You guys are, well, look, I'm going to be straight up. You guys do become my friends, and don't get me wrong, I have customers where I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not gonna hit it off with him, and he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And that's the straight up truth. If I get along,
why are you talking about Miguel like that?
Oh, dude, Miguel, you're a serial killer, bro. Where are you, dude?
Yeah, he's burying some bodies.
No, man, no. Like for the most part, we all love the same things. Typically, if you like cars and we have the same taste, we're gonna become friends. That's really what it is. And I feel like most of my customers are into the same things. Like if you like BBSs, I like you.
Like proper fitment? Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I get my traditional customer that comes in and he's like, I'm about to drop racks. I want to buy 4G autos, and I tell them my opinion. There's no right from wrong. That's really what it is. Cars are literally like politics. I always tell everybody that, because there is no right from wrong. It's personal preference. But you know, from my eyes and being in this industry for so long, I like recommending parts that I think are great and what are quality and what fits properly, and that's what I think. I mean, you might think something else fits better, but you know, it's just all opinion, guys. Really.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. I think everybody has their own opinion. If we all like the same stuff and same cars, I think everybody would be driving some boring cars.
Exactly. Yep. It's like the rainbow, dude. Taste the rainbow. There's all types of.
He loves things in his mouth and stuff.
Oh, dude.
But, yeah,
guys, I'm sorry. You know, it's Pride Month and Ken's going off, dude. It's really crazy.
This is what happens when you get like minimal sleep, you know. But we're about to get fed, and I'm gonna feel sleepy later. But we're also gonna film a lot more stuff. So stay tuned, guys. I know Ron has been talking a lot, myself too. We have to give our mouths a rest before we eat all this food. So.
I'm gonna be shoving some meat in his mouth now, guys. So yeah.
We'll see you then. We'll see you later.